Hey everyone, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we are breaking down the literal nuts and bolts of a massive hardware swap, taking out an old 24-inch pool sand filter and dropping in a brand new one. If you've ever dealt with these heavy-duty pressurized systems, you already know it's a total beast of a job. So we're going to look directly at the source process to see exactly how this hardware is torn down, replumbed, and perfectly sealed up. Let's get into it. Okay, here is our roadmap for the project. We've got 5 clear stages. First, swapping the 24-inch filter. Second, assembly and leak prevention. Third, alignment and custom plumbing. Fourth, adding sand and greasing. And finally, number 5, the final test and troubleshooting.
So step 1, swapping the 24-inch filter. Out with the old, in with the new.
Right off the bat, our chronological journey starts with a masterclass in efficiency. You know how it is with this large waterlogged equipment. Managing your time is literally just as important as managing your tools. So instead of just standing around waiting for gravity to slowly empty out that heavy, wet sand and water from the old 24-inch unit, you immediately pivot. You shift your focus straight to unboxing and assembling the new filter. It's a really fantastic example of multitasking on the job to save daylight. Moving right along to section 2, assembly and leak prevention, securing the mechanics. Now, during this unboxing phase, there's really one critical mission on your mind, right? Stopping water from escaping under immense pressure. And for that, we need a very specific leak prevention toolkit. The source absolutely highlights these heroes. Stuff like sweeping elbows, which smoothly route the water so you don't get those weak high-pressure leak points. Plus, we've got PTFE tape, rubber O-rings, little washers, and of course, a heavily greased lid. When everything is compressed and tightened down, these tiny, unsung components are the only things stopping your setup from turning into a total geyser. Let's actually zoom in on one of those materials for a second, the PTFE tape. The creator specifically points this out for sealing the threads. You wrap it carefully right around the edge to prep the unions before they compress the whole setup together. Basically, it acts like a malleable little gasket right inside those threads, filling up the microscopic gaps that high-pressure water would absolutely exploit otherwise. What I really love here is the sheer hands-on technique the creator stresses. They note, just tighten this, hand tight, run your finger around the edge, get the excess off. Seriously, drop the heavy wrenches for a minute. Once it's hand tight, that's it. You can't back it out without ruining the tape seal you just made. So you tighten it strictly by hand and then physically trace your finger around the edge to wipe away the excess. It requires that delicate human touch to guarantee a flawlessly clean fit. Okay, section 3, alignment and custom plumbing, making the connections. This is where the rubber meets the road, physically integrating the new filter into your rigid existing pipework. You've got to make sure the top and bottom halves are lined up perfectly. Listen, dialing in the precision right now saves you massive headaches later on. If you line it up properly during this dry fitting phase, the filler is going to attach easily with just a slight turn. If you rush it, and you're even a fraction of an inch off, you'll be fighting the equipment all day long. And honestly, that alignment completely dictates your exact order of operations. Check out these 3 steps from the source. Step 1, remove the spoiler. Step 2, complete the plumbing. And step 3, put the sand in after. Why in that order? Well, because the footprint of the new filter almost never lines up perfectly with the old one. So you actually have to cut pipes and undo unions to replumb the whole system. You absolutely have to do all this wrestling and pipe fitting before adding hundreds of pounds of sand. Because once that sand is in, yeah, that unit isn't budging. Which brings us to section 4, adding sand and greasing. The final fill. With the plumbing completely cut, aligned, and routed, we finally get to add the filtration medium. The source transcript notes the super satisfying thumbs-up moment when the new sand is poured in. You can practically feel the relief. The heavy lifting is literally pouring into an empty, perfectly pre-plumbed unit. It's a huge milestone for the project. But pouring the sand isn't the finish line. To lock the whole thing down securely, you've got to slather the lid in grease and twist it on tight. On top of that, the creator points out securing the release valves, making sure they're equipped with those little washers and O-rings. Remember that leak toolkit we talked about earlier? This is where it pays off. Every single entry and exit point, even the tiny release valves, get sealed with rubber and grease. No leaks allowed. Finally, section 5, final test and troubleshooting, pressure under fire. We have arrived at the ultimate moment of truth. All that tape, the careful alignment, the heavy greasing, it all gets tested under massive water pressure right now. The creator notes, job done. Please get it up and running now. The system is fired up, the pressure builds inside that massive drum, and you basically hold your breath to see if the sweeping elbows and that hand-tightened PTFE tape actually hold against the surge. But hey, let's be real. Hands-on projects rarely go flawlessly on the first try. The source shows the reality of troubleshooting here, noting a minor leak actually popped up on one of the connections. So the creator had to act fast, actively popping 2 quick links back on to secure the issue. It's just a great, grounded reminder that testing and making on-the-fly adjustments is simply part of the mechanical process. It's totally normal. And there you have it, a fully functional, watertight, freshly sand-filled filter. But honestly, as we wrap up this incredibly satisfying explainer, it kind of makes you think, doesn't it? When you look out at your own property, what other massive, hidden, pressurized systems are running quietly just outside your door right now? Systems that rely entirely on a few wraps of PTFE tape and a greased O-ring to keep everything functioning smoothly. It's pretty wild to think about. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer. Keep your curiosity high, and I'll catch you on the next one.